Radhe Krishna, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. After hearing about the staunch devotion of Akrura and the ego-free state of mind of Vithura in the previous two Bhakti secrets, you would be curious to know what the lady of Tirkolur would have spoken about. So welcome to the Bhakti Secret 3. So in this Bhakti Secret 3, the lady of Tirkolur speaks the following verse. Did I give up my body like the Rishi Patnis? So this is the statement which she is making to Swami Ramanuja. Now, the human body is considered to be everyone's best friend forever. All our activities are focused on making this body comfortable and satisfaction of all the body needs and wants. So, in such a circumstance, will someone even think about giving up one's own body? We do see instances where unfortunately people take away their own lives because maybe they are suffering from an emotional distress or they are in some kind of a financial disaster. But would anyone willingly give up their body when they are in a happy state of mind, when all things are working well for them? May not be. So we will focus on a small story from the scripture called Srimad Bhagavatam, which explains this concept, and this is the story which is referenced by the lady of Tirkolur to Swami Ramanuja. The gopis of Vrindavan were staunch devotees of Krishna. They were attracted to Krishna and always had him in their mind whenever they used to carry on their activities. So they used to go about in Vrindavan selling the dairy products, that is curd, butter, milk, etc. to various households. They did it with a difference. So whenever they were involved in their selling activities, they always used to discuss amongst themselves the stories of Krishna or the pastimes of Krishna. So this naturally created a divine interest in every household to which they were going, because the people of the household, whenever they used to buy the products, they used to hear these stories which the gopis were discussing. Once the gopis came to a place where some rishis were conducting sacrificial rites, or yajna as it is commonly called in Sanskrit. As usual, they were discussing the pastimes of Sri Krishna, and the wives of these rishis, they heard this conversation. Naturally, they were very happy and they were curious to meet this cute and mischievous boy called Krishna. But they were always busy in their day-to-day routines and they had no time to go to Vrindavan and meet this mischievous kid. But the Rishi Patnis were constantly determined to have a darshan or vision of Sri Krishna, and they decided to chant his holy name as discussed by the gopis. So they kept on chanting his name with a sincere prayer that they should get an opportunity to meet Krishna. Now, if a devotee calls Krishna sincerely, he definitely makes plans to ensure that their prayers are fulfilled. One day, the rishis decided to conduct their yajna on the banks of river Yamuna. Now, the banks of river Yamuna is the favorite playground for Lord Sri Krishna, his brother Balarama, and all his cowherd friends, or the Gopas as they are called. Hearing this, the Rishi Patnis were very elated. They were very happy to know that this would be a chance to meet this cute and the mischievous Krishna. On the day when the yajna was being conducted, the Rishi Patnis were busy preparing for the food in a tent which was behind the place where the yajna was being conducted. Now, just near to that place, Krishna and his cowherd friends were playing. Now, Krishna comes up with a plan because the Rishi Patnis were sincerely praying to meet him. So, as per his plan, he makes his cowherd friends go hungry. So, the hungry cowherd friends approach Krishna and say that on that particular day, they are abnormally hungry and they would want to have something very nice. Now, Krishna starts naming the choicest of the dishes, and this obviously gives rise to a mouth-watering feeling to his cowherd friends. So, his friends say that they would obviously want to have these choicest dishes, but who is going to give them these kind of food? So Krishna says there is a yajna which is going on in the banks of river Yamuna. So all you have to do is to go there, meet those rishis, prostrate before them and talk to them as I instruct you. So the cowherd friends were naturally excited when they heard about the interesting food varieties, and they do exactly as told to them by Krishna. So when they go and meet the rishis, they prostrate before them, and when they talk to them as Krishna instructed, they get no response from the rishis. So they wait for some time and they feel that they are not going to get any of those food varieties. They return back dejected. So they meet Krishna and they say that they felt very cheated, that they couldn't have those delicacies. So Krishna says, okay, let us try for a second attempt. So these gopas are like, well, do you want us to go back again and repeat the same procedure? So Krishna says, yeah, you have to repeat the procedure, but with a small difference. So you go there, but then don't meet the rishis. Just behind the place where the yajnas are being conducted, there is a tent where the wives of those rishis are cooking these delicacies. Now the gopas, they say, well, Krishna, we have forgotten what all you instructed just some time back, which we were supposed to tell the rishis. It's going to be difficult for us to memorize those lines again. So Krishna says it is not that difficult. You just have to go and tell them that Krishna and Balarama are sitting under that tree. They are hungry and hence we have come for food. You will get the food. So the gopas had that faith in their friend and they go to the place where the Rishi Patnis are cooking the various delicacies, and they say exactly the words which were uttered by Krishna. The Rishi Patnis were very happy on hearing this. They were anyways planning to wrap up their work and go and meet Krishna. So in their excitement, they collected all these delicacies, and instead of going through the back door, they went through the front door where the yajna was being conducted. Now these rishis spotted their wives carrying all those plates with the delicacies, and naturally they questioned them as to where they were going. When the Rishi Patnis explained them that they are going to feed Krishna and his friends, there was obviously an opposition from the rishis. They said that their wives couldn't live in the midst of the yajna and they prevented them from going. But there were a lot of Rishi Patnis who were determined that this was their best opportunity to see Krishna and his friends. So they didn't pay any heed to the rishis and they just left. Unfortunately, one Rishi Patni was prevented or prohibited by her husband from leaving. So he held her hand and said that she couldn't go and meet Krishna. Now, the devotion of all these Rishi Patnis to meet Krishna was very high. So this Rishi Patni who was being held back, she felt that there was no mistake on her part. It was her devotion which was leading her to Krishna. So she saw no reason in her husband preventing her from going. He was doing his duty. She was trying to do her duty. So when she was not able to escape from his clutches, she made a silent prayer and thought, if this body is what is preventing me from meeting my Lord, I don't want this body. So she fervently prayed to Krishna, and at that moment she gave up her body and her soul merged with Krishna. So this incident was a shocker to all those rishis present there, but this also highlighted the impact of true burning devotion which a devotee can have. So this is the incident which the lady of Tirukkolur references. Did I give up my body like the Rishi Patni? So this Rishi Patni, she wanted to have a darshan or vision of her Lord. She was prevented or obstructed from meeting that end goal, and she said, okay, if this body is the cause of that obstruction, I don't want this body. So she had everything going well in her life, yet she chose to give up her body. What a great devotion she had. The key message for us is not to end our life in spiritual pursuits. Philosophically speaking, can we spend some time in inquiring who we are really, what is the purpose of our existence, rather than only being entangled in the material life? No doubt, material life, our work life, our professional lives, everything is important, but the message is just to go beyond the material life, practice some devotion which will make the overall life an interesting experience. So that's all we had from Bhakti Secret 3. Stay tuned with us for Bhakti Secret 4. Radhe Krishna, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shrimate Ramanujaya Namaha.